Friends, colleagues and listeners, here we are again with another episode in the care series that we're doing with Etihad, and it fits in with their 9 priorities as well. So we've got today's guest, who's Tim Isik, who's the VP of Commercial Etihad Cargo. Lovely fella, had the privilege of meeting him at a few events recently. So Tim, lovely to have you on board, sir.
Thank you, sir. Really nice to be here today, Chris. Thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure. Good man. Now, Tim, I'm sorry to hit you with something that I don't normally do, but I've got quite a lengthy question, but I feel once you digest it and then you kick it back, it's going to get us going, and it's going to get us going in the right frame. So, just sit back, enjoy the little rest while I go through this big, long question, and then I look forward to the answer, okay? So what I want to just ask you is, now with any organization, commercial relationships and certain principles are what helps maintain a successful foundation for both entities to benefit and grow. And I know Etihad's really, really focused on that. Now, what are the special levels of customer service and interface that you and your team deliver and that you personally are so proud of?
Sure. Thank you, Chris. I think first and foremost, it's worth noting that our tagline is to be your air cargo partner of choice. And I have to throw that out there. It's not a sales pitch, but I will. So as part of that, about 3 years ago, we went on a journey to look at how we were structured, and we decided to insource a number of markets. We're supported by some GSA partners in other markets, and we have some GSA partners supporting the team where we sort of have a hybrid approach. Yep. For us, that works fantastically because we have that interface, we have that touch point with our customers. We have our regional sales managers, we have our regional directors, we have our area managers, our global account managers, and then of course we have a customer service team here in Abu Dhabi, which I'll talk about in a second as well. But other sort of customer interfaces which are key to working with our customers, as you mentioned, are things like our booking portal for people that want to book online, or third-party booking portals, things like Cargo One and Web Cargo that we use. Those are key sort of tools for us to sort of really reach our customers.
Yeah, and it's amazing, Tim, isn't it? Because you don't have to go back that many years. And if somebody said, right, we're not going to use a GSA, or we're not going to use our own reservations, we're going to open it all up and we're going to do it via a third party or a separate entity, people would have wouldn't have taken it seriously. But now, I mean, everybody's doing it, and I think it's going to open up even more in the future.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important for us to be there. And I think, Chris, one of the other things as well that we're really proud of is our customer contact center here in Abu Dhabi. So it operates 24/7. We have a dedicated team to service the UAE market, which helps sort of improve efficiency and meeting their needs and their requirements, but also to service other customers as well. So we have two teams here, to say one dedicated to the UAE and one dedicated for the global sort of hotline, and they're reachable 24/7.
Fantastic. Now, with all of these changes and everything that's happened, and obviously the last 3 years have been pretty special for yourself, one of the things that Etihad's focused on as well is the products, and product delivery and customer centricity are right at the heart of everything you're doing to make yourselves come across as the special partner, shall we say. Okay, now, how important is this to you when you're dealing directly with your key customers, that you've got a lovely or an extensive product portfolio?
It is so important, Chris. And without going into a full-on sales pitch for you, we've got 8 premium products that we're super proud of. The couple that I will call out, sort of our Fresh Forward, for our perishables, our Pharma Life, our live animals, and our Flight Valet. These are really good, solid products in the market that have some fantastic service levels.
Right, the Flight Valet, can you expand on that a little bit? It's got a nice little twang to it, and I'm assuming it's getting people to park the aircraft for the pilots. So give us a little bit of expansion on that valet service.
Sure. If you want to ship your car sort of anywhere around the world on our network or on a freighter, we will be able to do it. We will have that expertise. We can arrange to have it collected, delivered, intact and on time.
Okay, brilliant. And all of the rest of the products and the certifications that you've got, that all adds up, which makes, don't get me wrong now, makes your life a lot easier than you probably would have thought when you came on board. Now, as far as that's concerned, how, and I know this is the wrong word, Tim, and you'll probably give me a bit of stick next time I see you, but how easy is it for you, to just, to deal with all the customers, knowing that you've got that wonderful brand of Etihad behind you?
It's great. And I think part of us having that brand and having, the size of our airline, that we're able to take things on board. We're not the biggest carrier out there, but we're very agile and we're willing to go and work and do whatever we have to do to provide solutions. So I think for us there, that is so important.
Good man, good man, good answer. Good answer. Very, very corporate there, Tim. I'm going to push you a little bit now. So, right, you were talking about having your own portal and also using some of the other partners like Cargo One and Web Cargo. Why do you think that's become so popular now?
Than having the third-party portals?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for us, it's customer convenience. They like to be able to log on, similar to how you might buy a ticket on a flight. You might go on the internet, type in where you're going from, and be able to see everyone's price who partakes in these portals, and be able to do it without having to go to each carrier individually to request the price.
And it's amazing when you look back a few years. The thoughts of letting somebody else or letting customers just do it automatically, it wasn't heard of, was it? And now all of a sudden, it's the right thing to do. It makes sense. It speeds everything up. The GSAs, they've accepted it. Everybody's accepted it from a reservations perspective, and it makes so much sense.
It really does, Chris. And I think one of the other things as well that we're keen on here is having direct API connectivity with our customers where we're able to do so and where they have the desire to do so with us.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I to be honest with you, I think as people are getting better at this, they're going to become more creative, and it's going to open up more segments. And it'll make things so much better, so much faster. Now, products, and that's another thing that I know you pride yourselves on, and you pride yourselves on the focus on quality, attention to detail, making sure that everything's right, and that it's that special relationship as you already covered. But as far as product delivery and customer centricity is concerned, how important is this to you when you're dealing directly with your key customers, and indeed all of the valued customers, to make them understand that Etihad has got that sort of niche or that boutique sort of frame about it?
Absolutely. So in addition to sort of being your air cargo partner of choice, we want to be the easiest carrier to do business with. So we want to work with our customers, we want to collaborate with them, and with the departments within Etihad, within our operations, within everyone that's servicing or touching a customer shipment and their journey. So for us there, it's all about working together, taking that feedback and looking at how we're communicating, how things are moving through the system, and looking at what we can do to better service that. So for example, if we were to increase, if we were to witness an increase in demand from a certain region, for example, we would then communicate that internally with our network planning team. Yeah. We then may work with the passenger side as well to look at where or what aircraft are deployed, and is there an opportunity to add some depth or scope to our network.
No, that's good. That's good. That makes a lot of sense. I like the fact that you're talking about easier to do business with. Many years ago, when I was working with Etihad, we had a program called Easy to Use, and we tried that from the handling side, to make sure that everything that we did, whether it's contracts, SLAs, etc., we did it as simple as possible, not to make things complex. And I like the fact that everything that Etihad's doing at the moment is as open and as transparent as possible. Now, as far as tactical adjustments, Tim, okay, and how would you describe the EY cargo product offering, in light of the immediate competition in the region? So, you're not necessarily, and excuse me if I say something that's not quite to your liking, but you're not the biggest, mm-hmm. and you might not be the best, but you're definitely different. And I think that's nice. It's nice to be different.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the nice things I'd like to call out here is our dedication to China. So we launched a Mandarin version of our website and our booking portal last year. This was very well received from China. We've increased our sort of flying into China. And in fact, just recently, we've rerouted one of our freighters. So twice weekly freighter service that would otherwise go from Shanghai to Abu Dhabi now stops in Chennai. So it gives the opportunity to connect in Chennai as well for any shipments out of China. And of course, then that onward lifts from India too.
No, excellent. and and obviously focusing on things that are slightly different, or giving a little bit of emphasis on certain markets makes a big difference. Now, how long have you been in this position, Tim?
Coming up to a year, Chris.
3 years. So you've actually gone through a couple of real terrible years actually as well. Haven't you?
1 year,
One of
coming up to
one
1 year.
was bad, yeah. But fair play to you, fair play for being there. So if you take that year, and everybody's learning from it, and everybody's looking at things differently, and that's why we're doing this care approach. And we've already covered the Hope Consortium and everything that Etihad's done from a humanitarian perspective. But from your own personal perspective, coming into such a wonderful brand, how would you describe, the biggest challenges that you might have been involved in with respect to unusual or critical shipments, or something that was just, you never ever expected?
I think the thing that surprised me was coming over here and seeing how agile we are, how willing we are to work together. Because of our size, as you mentioned, yes, we're not the biggest carrier out there, but we have people that are able to make things happen. So if we are faced with something that perhaps is not the norm, we will get it done. We will find a way to do that. And I think that's something that really, really impressed and proud to be a part of. And that's really within, testament to the culture here at Etihad.
No, it's good. It's good. And also, Tim, I'm just curious now. So obviously, your operations colleagues, whatever you pitch to the customers and whatever you commit to, you need a confidence behind that it's going to be delivered from operations. So from your again, your personal position, how important is it that operations gets things right time and time and time and time again?
It's crucial, right? We're there to sell the product, to meet the needs of our customers, and to ensure that we have a product to offer for our customers. We then rely on our ops colleagues to ensure that that is delivered in accordance to what we promised. And that's why it's so important that we work together, we sit down regularly, we go jointly to customer meetings, and also when things don't go to plan, which does happen sometimes, we're prepared to work together to find out what happened, and to hold our hands up. So I think that's a really nice way of doing things. And I'm sure you've heard about our on-time performance, for our freighter in 2022, 80.5%, really, really good for our departures. And then actually, if we look at arrivals for that, 84.1%, really, really good to see. And that's above our targets. I guess more importantly, if we look at our DAP rate, our delivered as promised, 86.6%, really, really happy with that for 2022. And a special shout out and thanks to our ops colleagues for helping us or bringing those results to us.
No, good man, good man. Tim, I just got to pull you up on one thing there. What did you said 4.1%?
84.1%.
84. Good man. I just thought I'd underline that just in case people heard it the way I did, and they're thinking like, why is Tim so pleased with 4.1%? Good on you for clearing that up. Now, whenever anybody is in charge of a particular unit or part of a business like you are, they rely on certain well-tested tools in their toolkit. What would you say are your key go-to tools, for yourself when you're dealing with customers and trying to make sure that they're happy with the Etihad product and Etihad image?
Yeah, I mean, for us, there are a couple of things I would say. Our focus on innovation and looking at technology and how that can better service their needs, our offering is a real core thing. And then I think as well for us, we're proud. We were the first Middle Eastern airline to hold 3 IATA CIV certifications. We have that in live animals, we have it in fresh, and we have it in pharma. And I think that is a real good toolkit, and it sort of demonstrates that commitment that we have to meet those, quality expectations that people have.
Yeah, and that lines up with your focus on the quality element, and also anything certifiable that makes sense for the customers. Right, so we got the toolkit, we got the challenges. Okay, how do you feel now with the way things are going in the market?
It's definitely an interesting time. We're seeing the market begin to normalize. Perhaps the recovery. Sorry?
I said normalize. Good word.
Yeah. Where the Chinese New Year post recovery perhaps wasn't as strong as everybody'd hoped. But I think the key thing here is it is the situation that we're in. We're aware of the socioeconomic, I guess, barriers or pressures on that as well. For us now, it's just about being out there, delivering the best service that we can. I said offering that network that we can, and meeting and doing what the market is at. So in terms of the outlook, we're confident that we're there, and that we will address and deal with how it pans out.
Yeah, no, exactly. Another thing that I was so pleased, myself and Salem were out there a couple of weeks ago. We spent a few days in Abu Dhabi, and I was lucky enough to touch base with people like Sharon and Shalana, Jobbies, some of the old boys that I used to know, and it's so lovely to see them doing so well within the business. But the one thing that stands out is the amount of pride that everybody's got with the company and the brand. It's really nice to see that, especially nowadays, when there's so many distractions and frustrations and people have got so many problems. But to see so many people so proud of that particular brand and name, it's lovely.
I'd agree with you. It is really nice to walk into the office and to see that we come in here and we have that pride and that passion for the brand and to succeed. And I think that is really nice sort of culture. And I'm glad that you're able to see that when you're in town.
Oh, 100%. And I was bowled over by the energy and the pace of Stotts. If ever there was a cancer, my God, he's 100 miles an hour. It's brilliant. I loved it.
He's fantastic. He really is.
He's cracking fella.
Really is.
Yeah, no, really good. And from a marketing perspective, I'm sure you're pretty happy with the efforts of Lubna.
We are so blessed to have Libna in the team. I have to say, she does an incredible job of really communicating all the great things that we do, ensuring that we're at the right events, that we're taking care of our customers and our partners, and really, really well done to Libna. We're lucky to have her on the team.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. And then also, being lucky enough to work and live and be based out of Abu Dhabi. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to be.
It really is. And what a nice time of year as well now, Chris, as we're saying. I hear you guys over in the UK are having a little cold streak at the moment, a little bit of snow and sleet. Well, it's 27 plus degrees outside. We've got so many things to do here. It's a really great part. And not to mention, of course, geographically being able to get to wherever you may want to go, or to source or ship whatever you may want to do.
Yeah. We're beginning to sound like a little Walt Disney exercise now, Tim. And it's like once upon a time, and they lived happily ever after. Now, with the happily ever after, how do you see things? What do you see now as the biggest challenges to yourself in your position over the next few years? 2 to 5 years.
Sure. I think for us now, it's enhancing, certain things that we have been striving to achieve. So whether that's looking at the farmer corridors that we operate, whether that's the infrastructure that we have here at Abu Dhabi, it's really about growing that. I'm really excited about our new cool chain facility, which is going to be opening imminently. That'll help with a lot of our sort of fresh and farmer products, fresh forward.
Yeah, so you've got a lot going on, and obviously the new terminal coming up soon.
For passenger experience, that new terminal will be fantastic, and really looking forward to that too.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic all around. I think Abu Dhabi's got a lot. Well, it always has had a lot going for it. Now, Tim, before we go, as far as your own personal career and highlights, what would you say have been the biggest highlights that you've experienced now over the last 3 years?
Over the last 3 years, I think the word resilience that stands out. How I joined Etihad a year ago. When I came here, we just had a record sort of 2 year or a year, and then coming into a record second year from COVID, how quickly everybody adapted to deploy, getting our aircraft, getting cargo in cabin on aircraft and operating those, and just really well done. And then all of a sudden, as we all know, the market started to really normalize. And again, we had to sort of change. We were out in visiting customers, we were out attending events, but we're also seeing that yield starting to soften. And I think for me, that highlight was just how well everybody just embraced it and came to work and was willing to just get on it and do the best we could. So for me, that was a real sort of proud moment.
Yeah, no, I can imagine, Tim. Well, look, it's a great pleasure, and obviously it's a big team event, and we've interviewed quite a few of the primary team, so yourself included. Thank you very, very much for your time. Wishing you great success, as I'm sure it'll come. And even if it's a little bit tough for a little while, I'm sure you'll do very well, Tim. So good luck, my friend.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for your time today.